Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday night live stream. Friday night live, Friday night live. We're not in the fish room today, as I hope you can tell. But can you still hear me? Can you still see me? When I'm 64. Welcome, one and all. Who have we got in so far? Let's have a look. We've got Ross Hale evening from a cold, wet, windy Edinburgh. It's a cold, wet, windy Sheffield as well, I must admit. Silver Surfers here. Hans is in. NGW, hi from Doncaster. Hi from Sheffield. Scott's here with his 460p. Loud and clear. That's what we wanted to hear. So, I couldn't face the fish room today. My back's been killing me, and I'm lazy, I'm old, I wanted a seat. So, we've come back to the office for this evening. We will be going back to the fish room in the future, but, mix it up a little bit. To spend all this money and all this equipment, might as well get some use out of it. Let's see if the GoPro works. I don't have a button for the GoPro. Oh well. That's annoying. That was one of my things I was hoping to do. Yay, it works. Right, I just wanted to show you the lineup of beers that we've got for this evening. So, weird beers. That's the new thing on a Friday night. We try out some weird beers. I'm trying to get a more cultured palate, shall we say. I'm very much I like my normal lager. That's kind of it. As long as it's fresh, crisp, tasty, that's all I'm going for. I'm not into this, or not yet into this craft ales and things like that. So for the past few weeks we've been trying some weird and wonderful beers with varying results. Some have been absolutely minging. Some have been absolutely tolerable. I was going to say delicious, but I don't think I've had any delicious ones yet. Some have been fine. Oh god, there's the GoPro frozen again. Oh well, there's the GoPro frozen again. It's not having a happy day. It never likes it up here. Don't know what we'll do. But anyway, so as I was saying, some of them have been perfectly tolerable. Some of them have been not nice at all. Some of them have been okay. Yet to find something that's made me go, oh, that's delicious. I've had a few that I would definitely have again. I should really write all this down so as I remember this. Because usually after 3 or 4 of them, I can't remember much. But tonight, we've gone for a completely different... What are all these noises? We've gone for a completely different range. I was going to do themed beers. We talked about doing that for a while. All from Scotland, or from England, or from Yorkshire, or from Australia, or whatever. Theming them on parts of the world. I'm just going to unplug this GoPro because it's making funny noises. It doesn't seem very happy. Ooh, it doesn't look very happy either. There we go. So tonight isn't really themed other than things that made me go, interesting. So we're starting... Well, I'm not saying we're starting off with this, but number 1 beer doesn't even look like beer. Aunt Bessie's Jam Roly Poly Jam and Custard Pale Ale by Northern Monk. This is... That's why I bought it. It looks like that. It says those things. That was the thing that got me out. This is a fish podcast / live stream. We'll get onto that in a bit. 4.5% volume. We've got Sumo. Oh, by Mad Squirrel. Go on, you can do it. American Pale Ale, 4.7%. I'm not going to lie, I'm a sucker for a good label. I like the label, it feels funny, so I thought I'd go for that one. We've got Glide, Salt, which I was going, Nipa. I wonder what Nipa is. I'm assuming was it New England IPA? It's a hazy, tropical one. What was it said? It was so nonsensical, I thought I'm going to definitely get this one. It's bursting with tropical sweetness on the nose. A combination of Mosaic, Simcoe and Strata hops pair dark resin with beautifully exotic passion fruit and strawberry tones. Okay. So, yeah, different. And then purely for the name. Oh, can't see it because I'm folding it wrong. Juice Forsyth with Bruce Forsyth on it. So that's what we've got for this evening. I can't find my big pint gub though, so we're using this one. Any ideas what we should start with? Aunt Bessie's Juice Forsyth. I think I'm going to go for Juice Forsyth. It's only 5%, so it won't knock me out too much. Yeah, it's got one of those smells. We'll try it though. You can check out my pouring technique. What am I doing wrong? Why do I always get a massive heat? So quite cloudy, quite hoppy. I think it's hoppy is the smell that I don't like. So I'm meant to get overtones of juicy, fruity things. Good game, good game. So it's got all Bruce Forsyth's catchphrases on the back, basically. If you don't know who Bruce Forsyth is because you're not from the UK, I'm not going to explain it. So that's what it looks like. Quite cloudy. I think that's what we call a hazy one. Quite stinky. Oh, you know what? That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. The smell put me off it, but I could do that. I can do that. Anyway, House of Sass says hi everyone. David Pinner from a wet and windy Merseyside. Mark is in. The internet has fixed itself, says Scott. Good evening. I did get the Juice Forsyth. Yeah, I could. That might go in the tick pile of would drink again. Discuss how we can reduce energy costs. Well, that was one of the topics I was thinking about for this evening. Barry, evening/morning. I'm curious what people are paying bills-wise before panicking. We're average £8 to £10 with heating on, albeit limited, and compared to those with kids. It's okay. 6 a.m. in Australia, says Barry. Now I feel like a beer. Yeah, time zones, eh? What can you say? 9 p.m. on a Friday night here, so surely I'm allowed. So, energy costs. Here in the UK, we've had, that's what, 100% if not more rises over the last few months. This week we've had an announcement from various, I think the government are trying to say no, this won't happen, but the energy companies are saying, well, it might. The possibility of blackouts, so 3-hour blackouts in the UK over the winter, whether that'll happen or not. So just this week I've had people emailing me as if I'm some kind of expert. I mean, I'm happy to answer and talk to anybody. If you want to join our Discord server, you can come and ask any questions there. But yeah, my email's publicly available. If you want to email me and ask me questions, that's also fine. But remember, I'm just me. I'm not an expert. I don't really know everything. Pardon me. I have opinions and I have thoughts, so I'll be happy to talk to you about them. But yeah, so this week I've had 2 or 3 emails from people saying, oh, what would you suggest as a backup system for when the blackouts come, or what would you suggest as a quicker way to, a cheaper way to heat your aquarium, what would you, blah blah blah. So people are definitely talking about it, people are definitely concerned about it, and there are things you can do. So I have made videos about this in the past, the ways to reduce your electricity costs. I would be very surprised if there weren't lots of videos coming out soon about how to save money on your aquariums. It's all your standard stuff. It's things like putting a lid on your aquarium, getting rid of any old equipment, especially. So things like old filters and pumps, old lights, whether they be T8s or T5s or anything like that, and replacing them with LED or more modern equivalents. Same with filters and stuff. So that the video I did very recently on the tidal filters, that was a filter that had much, much larger capacity than some of my much, much smaller filters that were a lot older. And ran a fraction of the cost to run them. So yes, that means an outlay, but there are things you can do that don't require an outlay, like getting a lid for your aquarium, changing how often the lights are on, where you keep your aquarium. Are you going to have it in a room that's already heated? Then you don't need to have your heater on quite so much. Do you want to look at a general drop in temperature? So a lot of fish will be what we consider the tropical fish keeping hobby, but a lot of fish will be temperate and will handle a drop of a few degrees. So in general, if your home is going to be heated and your aquarium's in your home, you probably don't need a heater. Caveat of depending on what fish you're keeping, but you can probably get away with, most fish will handle being warm as you are for a couple of months over the winter, so as you're not losing your mind about energy costs and things like that. But insulation, that's another thing. You can wrap your tank up, back sides underneath, get any heat that you are generating in there and keep it in there. So like I say, I did make a video, I will try and find it later and maybe link to it, but looking at ways you can reduce by using fewer pieces of equipment, upgrade using better equipment where you do have to have equipment, and environmentals about what you might be able to do to the place that the aquarium is, that you might be able to keep it. Or as Cold Water Aquatics says, go for cold water fish, then you don't need any heaters. But yeah, there's plenty of options on there. I'm not overly concerned. I might be a bit more concerned because as a person who has a fish room with lots of heaters, but I've taken steps as far as I can with insulation of the room, with putting central heating into the room, so I'm not running individual heaters. But there is a cost. But like with any hobby, there's a cost. It's whether it's outrageous for you. Our energy bills as a family are quite high anyway, with or without the fish room. The fish room does obviously add to it, but it's like anything in life, you have to weigh up your priorities and decide what you want to keep and what you want to do. I suspect if you're running 1 or 2 fish tanks, it's not going to be a huge imposition on you, especially if you do some of these little tips and tricks. But yeah, it's a difficult one. Prices are going up. Well, they're hopefully going to be stalled a little bit. But there's no getting away from it. The price is going up. It's going to hurt everyone. Depending how much power you use, is how much it's going to hurt you. Things like when I was looking to heat Megatank, for instance, I have solar panels, for instance. So any energy that those solar panels are generating during the day, I use that, and anything that's extra gets exported back to the grid. So turning all the heaters on during the day when I know that power is for free because it's coming from the solar panels, and then turning them all off at night because I didn't have any stock in there, it was fine. I was just trying to get it up to a temperature. That was a very cost-effective way to do that. So not everyone can always do that, but there are these little things you can figure out. But rolling blackouts was the other side of that coin. Not necessarily rolling blackouts, but there was talk of there being like 3-hour blackouts. What are you going to do about it? What's everyone start panicking? What do we do? Personally, if that happens, I'm not going to do anything. I don't think 3 hours is going to make a difference. It's not going to be neither here nor there if my filters or air pumps or whatever go off for 3 hours, come back on again after 3 hours. Fine. If I was a little bit more concerned, I'd be looking into battery backups and things like that. Not, I've seen loads of discussions about UPSs, which are easy for me to say, uninterruptible power supplies, which are usually used in the IT industry or engineering industry for giving stable supplies. So most of the focus of those things is about giving stable supply, but it also gives a little bit of battery backup for power cuts. And the idea there is that it gives you enough time to shut down a server or shut down a piece of equipment so as it doesn't just get as if it's had the cord yanked out of it. They're not really suitable for running lots of equipment long term. They're really suitable for stable bursts. That's what they're there to handle. There are things on the market. So, you know, is it here? Where is it? The Nicrew air pump that I've got that has battery backup. So when that's plugged in, it's running, and if the power happens to go, the battery will just kick in. So there's that, which is good for 1 or 2 aquariums, but there's bigger versions of them as well. So there's like fish room pumps that have batteries in. I'm considering buying one because it looks like a good efficient air pump as well. So I might get it, and it has the bonus of having a battery backup. So that kind of thing. Then you don't need to do anything. You can just let the power cut happen, and you'll still have some air going through your aquariums. Fine if you've got air pumps with sponge filters, but not great if you've got canister filters, because that's not going to run that. If it was longer term, so if it was going to be like 6, 9, 12 hours, I'd be looking to get the filter media out of your canister filters and just bung it in your tank. Maybe put an air stone underneath it and run that off a battery air pump, so you've at least got water moving through your filter media and it's keeping it nice and fresh and alive. In my experience, the biggest concern with any power cuts or failures, if you forget to plug a filter back in again, is when you do that, the next day you come and plug it back in again, it pumps in a filter's full of death back into your tank and fills the water that way. So there are lots of strategies. For one, I'm taking a wait and see attitude. I don't think any of the things that have been described are anything more than... They're definitely worth worrying about, but I think they're obviously a little bit sensationalised to sell newspapers, make you watch the news, all that kind of stuff. So I've got a 220 gallon discus tank. I don't know what to do, so it's very, very much not the time to be getting into discus, but they're worth it. If that's in the context, I don't know what to do about the energy prices. Look into those things. Look into cladding the tank. Look into your discus. You might be keeping them at 30 degrees. Drop it to 28. That'll be absolutely fine. Drop it to 27 if you want. That will be absolutely fine. They will be okay. If that helps you balance the books, fine. Cold Water Aquatics, hello. We said hello to you anyway. Lots of local fish shops are seeing very polarising views from customers. Some are rehoming and struggling to run. Others are selling well. I think the biggest problem is probably for the fish shops themselves, because they have to run multiple tanks. They are like me on steroids. They have dozens and dozens of tanks, and they've got to keep them running. So, and then they're being hammered by energy prices, energy bills, water bills, tax bills, business rates increases, all these kind of things. It's just impossible to run a business these days, as well as all the things us customers experience of the energy prices and all that. So it's very tough. I don't envy them at all. Zen Ginger, we've got in tonight. The Dee-Dee's been here as well. Nice to see you. Smurfy Good Times, there's a name and a half. 1 pump, 44 aquariums, no heat, no lights. There you go, that's the way to go. Yeah, so people like Cold Water Aquatics, they're like, you know, when the first fuel rises started going up for like cars and stuff, and everybody that had an electric car was a bit like, I made the right choice, ha 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 ha. All the people that just keep cold water fish right now are sitting back going, my goldfish aren't going to hurt me, ha ha ha. So, I'm glad they're not all quite so gloaty. Probably the worst time to start keeping it, very much so, yes. Scott, well, didn't I just open a bottle of Franny Canny, or however you spell it, and have it explode everywhere? Oh dear, all over my work shoes that were on the floor. Guess it's going to smell like a brewery. Another channel did a very interesting video where they heated a fish room with a 700 watt infrared panel. The downside was physics. And when it was on, it sounded like it was hideous as a person. 700 watt, that's a lot of watts. I'd be interested in that, because it fascinates me, all this, trying to work out what the best way of doing these things are. So drop a link or let me know what this channel was. I don't have any Franny tonight. No, I'm trying new things. Franny's very much definitely in the tick box. But I'm quite, yeah, this Fruity Forsyth or whatever it's called. What was it called? Juice Forsyth. That's going in the box. I could have several of these. Yum 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 yum. UPS seems overkill for a fish tank. I've tried it purely because I could get my hands on UPSs, and they just didn't do the job. They're built different for different things. 3-year blackouts could be an issue with some pumps that will not restart automatic. Good point. Yes. So that is a very good point. It's worth checking whether your equipment will come back on after a power cut, because there's lots of things that you need to go and physically switch back on again, or hit some kind of reset switch. In my case, I don't have anything like that, so that's why I was talking like that. But yeah, you might have filters or equipment that, I know a lot of lights, for instance, need you to, you won't be bothered about the lights coming back on automatically, but there will be things that you might need to switch back on. So yeah, just check these things out, do a bit of testing. If you small aquarium, even big aquariums, air pumps with sponge filters, if you start cycling your sponge filters now and just have them in there as a little bit of backup if you're worried about it, get a battery backup, a battery power bank, 20 quid or so. That'll run a sponge filter for days, if not weeks. That one that I bought for my pond, what was it called? That was one of the things I said as a tip to somebody. Orders. Yes, it was this one. Get the link. It was on offer as well. So I'll put this in the chat, but this is a power bank. It's overkill, but it's really good. I've been using it for months now. It runs a little USB pump, underwater pump. There's a video, go and watch the video, but it runs a little USB underwater pump that draws filters in through a pipe and spits it back out again, and it runs it for days. So it's just a little power bank, yay big. In fact, I can show you, I'm sure. This one here. Again, there's probably cheaper ones that will do the same thing. I like this one. It's a 20 watt one. I don't have anything that needs a 20 watt one. It's got 2 outlets, so I can run 2 things at once. And it's cheap. 24 quid or something like that. So it's on offer. Something like that will run, you know, these little USB air pumps for days, if not weeks. You can get little USB water pumps, so that again you could cobble together some kind of filtration just to keep your, if it was a canister filter for instance, just to keep media turned over or water going through that media. So there's options. David says, I'm old enough to remember the power cuts years ago. Never had any problems with the fish tanks in the house for the first few hours the lecky was off. A deep cycle battery and a small inverter will run. Yeah, you can get all kinds of solar solutions can do really well. Tim Rag, hello. Hello. How's it up in Scotland? Are you enjoying yourself? Are my comments coming through, or is it just deleting it and sending an emoji? Like that one. This winter I'll be keeping my koi and goldfish at 23-24, thank God for underfloor heating. The concept is that infrared doesn't heat air, it heats surfaces. So you run it for a few hours, the walls, floor, furniture, etc. are heated and thus radiate heat. It does the same to people too. Seems good. Video was by Aquarium. Oh, I normally catch up on theirs over the weekend, so I'll have a look at that. I've bought a few £12 USB pumps to run for 7 days on my power bank. Right. Definitely an interesting topic. We might come back to that and have some more chat and discussion, but I finished my beer. What should we get next? I've prepared a quiz. Is anybody interested in just doing a little bit of trivia for a little bit of fun? I'm not sure whether it'll work or not, but I was thinking if we could all play together, I can send you a link, and whoever wins, I'll send them a t-shirt or a goodie bag or something like that. But there's only like 12 questions, so maybe loads of people will win, so I'm thinking about that. But if you're interested, just as a little bit of a fishy quiz, we can try that. Copy link. So I'll put the link into the chat. Let me know if that works. I should see you turn up here, and then we can all do the quiz together, and whoever wins, it'll show up. While we think about that, should I go for Aunt Bessie's, Sumo, or Glide? I mean, the fact that it's got jam in the name makes me think that this might be the one to go for. You have to click play trivia and then your one. Oh, should have tested this myself, shouldn't I? Alright, so there's a pin. So the pin, if you click on that link, and then type that number in as your pin number, that'll take you to my quiz that I created, because I have far too much time in my hands. Right, jam roly poly. I'm going to try it off. And if you can't make it, I'll just do it myself, and you can laugh at how stupid I am to not get my own questions right. Smells jammy. Looks jammy. It's bright red. Oh, Scott's made it in. It could just be me versus you, Scott. Look at that for colour. So if you want to play, just go to triviacreator.com and then put in that pin number that you see on your screen now, and I put in chat a second ago. It actually does smell like jam roly poly. Is jam roly poly a universal thing? Do you have that in America? Or Australia, or anywhere else where people might be from? Get the head on that. Ooh, it's quite sweet. It's not nasty. Come on, let's see if we can get a few more people at least and see if the quiz is anything to be. Oh, Mark. Mark has joined. We'll give it another few minutes. Christine's in as well. Well done, Christine. The Fish Vet says, if you can find it, Hackers Psure is the god of German beers. I don't have that one tonight, but I might look for that in the future. Dan's in. Did you say jam roly poly? That sounds like some kind of isopod. It's a dessert. It's basically, I don't know if you can see that, it's like sponge, a big layer of sponge that you roll up with jam spread all over it and cream, and that's jam roly poly, and then you put custard over it, or ice cream or something like that. So Scott, Mark, Christine, Simon, Dan, Kaylee are all in. You might have to go into the one with my PIN number, and then when I start it, we all do it together at the same time. I think that's how it works. Slender blobfish. So I'll give it another couple of minutes and then I'll start it. Jelly roll. Oh, some people are doing it. I don't know. I've never done it before. I'm just messing around. Mickey. Mickey with the £5 super chat. Evening everyone, sorry for being late. I was attempting at football at my age. No worries, Mickey. Thank you very much. You don't have to pay for being late. There's no kind of concept of paying for your sins. It's quite alright. We're doing a quiz, Mickey, if you're interested. You need to click on that link using that pin if you want to play. So if you click on the link, it should take you to a page that you put in a PIN number. That should take you to this page, and then when I click start, Hans is in as well.
Oh, my balls.
And I must warn everyone, I made these questions, so the right answer is not necessarily the right answer. The right answer is whatever I think is the right answer. Using such learned journals like Wikipedia and Google to find some of the answers. Right, I think we're about ready. I'll have one more slug. Then we'll try this out. Oh, no, don't do that, Graham. Want to get me out of the way, that's all. Oh, got him. There we go. I don't know where best to put me. I'll try down there. Oh, Mickey's in as well. Right, so the winner gets some kind of prize, maybe. Unless you all win with the same points. Go on, House of Sass. Give it a go. Give you another 30 seconds. It's only a bit of fun. These aren't hard questions, and some of them are unknowable. In fact, they're not unknowable. If you can Google them quick enough, you can probably get the answer. But if this is a success, we'll maybe try and do something like that every week when we make up new quizzes, maybe even on different subjects. Who knows? Right, I think as soon as I press start, as it says there, after clicking start, new players will not be able to join the room. Big C. Right, we're going for it. 3, 2, 1, start. What is the name for scientific study of fish? Is it fishyology, ichthyology, ichthyology, or phenology? I'm going to go with ichthyology. What is the average lifespan? Average lifespan of the discus fish? Is it 6 years, 10 days, 10 years, or 15 years? Oh, I'm going to go with 10 years. Or do I not get to play? Its owners claimed it was the oldest pet fish in history. How old was Hanako the koi claimed to be? 63, 112, 302, or 226? I think the answer was 226. Who created / invented the first aquarium? Was it Philip H. Goss? Was it Joey Mullen? Was it Jean Villepreux Power? Or was it Heiko Blair? I think they all claimed to have invented, but the actual answer was Jean Villepreux Power. Am I doing something wrong here? Hang on. I think I'm meant to give you a chance to win, maybe. I'm very sorry, I'm doing this. I should have really done some testing on this. Right. I meant to just let it run and then you all got a chance to answer, so now I've just given you the first 4 answers for free. What's the average lifespan of the discus fish? How could we ever know? Its owners claimed it was the oldest pet fish in history. How old was Hanako the koi claimed to be? See, this is one I didn't get this. So the answer is 226 years. How did they know? No people have been alive that long. So this one, Philip H. Goss, he was the first person to, or I think he claimed to have been the first person to make what we would know as an aquarium these days, a round box made of glass, and did some work with public aquariums and things like that, but the actual first aquarium was Jean Villepreux Power, a good number of years earlier. Goldfish are most closely related to which group of fish? Chub, trout, salmon, or carp? And that is a goldfish. In my opinion, a horrific one, but you know, still a goldfish. The answer's carp, of course. This is very jam roly poly vibes. Imagine that. The practice of arranging your aquarium to be aesthetically pleasing, often with live plants, is called water gardening, aqua gardening, aquascaping, wetting your plants. Aquascaping. The nuchal hump on some fish is also known as a helmet, bulb, cook, or brain sack. I don't know why I'm laughing at these. I wrote these questions. It's like laughing at your own jokes. This is terrible. Of course, it's the cook. Altum angelfish are different to regular scalari. Altum means wide, tall, small, or bright. This is taken from an argument that I saw on a Facebook group where people were saying all these answers is what they actually meant. But it was tall. It's tall. Where was the world's first public aquarium? New York, Paris, Stockholm, or London? Oh. Sorry, broken back. It was, of course, London. I thought this was a good one. How many species of fish are there? None of them look particularly obvious to me. And even now, having made up the question, I can't remember which one's right. I think I know which one it is. 32,000. That was at last count, which was like 10 years ago or something. And of those 32,000 fish, how many of them are catfish? I couldn't believe this one. I could, because I saw it in black and white, but I thought this was quite... Of all the species of fish, 32,000 of them, like 10% of them are catfish, given how many different species of fish there are. The world's most expensive fish, a koi, sold for nearly $2 million. How old was it? This sold for like $1.8 million. It was said to be the perfect shohaku, or shohaku, I think it was called. It was 9 years old. The world's smallest fish is said to be the dwarf minnow of the genus Pedocipris. Pedocipris. I don't know. How small is an adult? 6.2 millimeters, 1.2 centimeters, 0.6 millimeters, or 3 millimeters. I thought I'd given it away by putting it on somebody's finger. 6.2 millimeters. How many public aquariums are there worldwide? I thought this would catch a few people out because I didn't think the answer was obvious on this one either. Yeah, I changed the measurements deliberately. Did you not see the other one? I put 10 years and that something like 12 days was one of the other options. And there are the results. Hans Hartmann, 228 points, Hans. Slender blobfish on 150, Mark on 106. I have no idea how you got these points or what that means. But congratulations. So, Hans, send me an email. I'll send you a pen and some key rings and things like that if you want, or a t-shirt if you want a t-shirt. I'll send you some kind of little prize. Congratulations. Woo! I forgot I had my applause button. I can use that. So, a little bit of fun. I thought we could give that a wee go. The fastest and being correct. It depends how many points you get. I think that might be the case. So, you know, if you thought that was fun, we can try that again. I did find all these other ones. Do you remember we did these a few weeks ago? The freshwater aquarium trivia, quizzes and games. So if it gets really slow later, we'll go back and have another go at some of them. Well, the rules of not asking Alexa declared before the quiz. Well, I set all the times to 20 seconds because I thought that would give it long enough that you wouldn't be able to go away and Google and come back again, or ask Alexa and have her answer and go, I found this on the internet. Is this of any use? And it never is. So, you know, just trying to mix it up a little bit where we have different things to do. So some weeks we'll be in the fish room, we'll be feeding the fish. Some weeks we'll be up here, chilling, drinking beers. It seems to be a bit of a constant. Beers might have to be knocked on the head. I'm on a bit of a health kick. He says, downing his beer. So I've been really good all week, so this is my one day off. And I'm going to go back to being good again. Okay, we're on 2 for 2 tonight. They were delicious. What time are we at? 9:45. Right, help me out, chat. Are we having Glide or Sumo? I feel like Glide being 7% might be a bridge too far. And Sumo, who knows? I should save Glide for last. Would that be right? Sumo claims to be with very small writing. These were all picked on their fruitiness and tropical. So mentions of fruity, sweet, tropical. So this one says What does it say? Why can't I see this? Blah, 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 blah. Will wrestle your taste buds with a flavour combo of tropical fruit, dank herbs, and weighty bitterness. Not sure about weighty bitterness. Other beers may enter the ring, but Sumo will always be the last beer standing. Okay, just because they said that, I'm going to make sure it's not the last beer standing and leave the other one as the last beer standing. Sumo then glide, says Scott. Yep, that's what we're going for. Silver Surfer, any progress on the display tank? Yes. Display tank has been fixed, has been resealed, water tested. Some new scaping. Oh my god. Look at that. Ridiculous. Some new scaping supplies have been purchased and delivered even. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing for plants yet. So I've gone for the cabinetry on my big display tank is a kind of marbled grey effect. So I've gone for like a light grey sand. So just to give something a little bit different and move away from the kind of play sand colours, the sandy sand colours, go for something a little bit different. Pardon me, but still quite light, so it's not going to darken up the discus too much. But I wanted to go back to like the dragonstone that I had in the old tank, or the same tank when it was set up last time. Not sure if that's going to look right or not, or whether I need to get some grey stones. I've got some grey stones and white stones. Don't think I'm going to like this. But I'm also thinking more of a hardscape than a fully planted tank. I don't know whether to go balls out and just go like mega plants, or I often set up new tanks and the planting's the last thing that I'll do. I'll put the rocks, I'll put the wood, I'll put the sand or the substrate or whatever. And sometimes I'm like, that looks good as it is. Not entirely sure that needs plants, but sometimes plants, I think that, and then I put the plants in and I go, no, should have definitely put the plants in. So I don't know if I'll go for more of a hardscapey look or go fully planted basically. But my good lady wife is downstairs right now. Still down there? Painting the skirting boards in the hall where the tank's going to go, so as I can move the tank in there tomorrow and start filling it up. Anyone got a flake? So I've been filming everything. I've had a few boobs along the way of trying to get it watertight and filled up again. But we're over that hump. Video will come out at some point. Probably tastes like a sumo wrestler. It's first place for smelling the worst. I don't know what it is. I just do not like that smell. Mind you, the first one didn't smell that good and it tasted nice. Mind over matter. I don't know if I'm just getting more used to these horrible beers. Definitely got a taste. It's got a bite. It's got a... Is that what people like about this kind of stuff? I don't know. The bitterness. A massive tree stump with roots and all. Yeah. I've got a load of bogwood For Mega Tank, I would plan to get a load of bogwood together, and I'd screwed it in, siliconed it, glued it, made it look like it was a big rooty tree structure. I don't think it would work in this tank as it is, because of the way the tank has like a pelmet around the top. It's not a lid, but it has the same materials the doors and the rest of the stand's clad with, has a pelmet around the top of it. So it kind of, if it was an open top tank, and technically it is an open top tank, but if it didn't have the pelmet and it just had the glass and I could have some wood coming out of the tank, I think that would look really good. But it looks weird without the pelmet, so I don't think it'll work with it. What broke? But that's not to say that I couldn't get other just wooden rocks. Maybe a few like the sporadic planting might do quite well. Any leaks on the infamous Megatank? Unfortunately, Slender Blobfish, yes. So, for those of you who follow along, you will have saw me a few weeks back. I filled it up. It's got to be 2 weeks ago now. I filled it back up again, and it immediately had a little tiny leak, as in I could see some dampness coming through at one very specific point. And my thought process was, I'm going to leave it filled so as I can see if that dampness spreads and if I can see if it's coming from anywhere else. Because I couldn't find where the source was. So if I can't fix it, I can't fix it, obviously. But checked all around, there's no dampness anywhere, and it stopped. It dried up. So I thought, it must be that thing like in a barrel, you know, when you get a barrel and you fill it with water, and if there's like cracks, the water swells the wood so that it all kind of seals itself and it holds the water. I thought that must be what's happened. But yesterday, or maybe even the day before yesterday, I went down again. I was just messing about in the fish room and noticed it was much worse. It was coming all out different areas around the front. I thought, what the hell has that happened? So again, I'm leaving it to see if I can see where it's coming from inside the tank, because at the moment it only looks like it's coming out of the front, and it can't be. It's got to be coming from somewhere else, and that's where it's exiting. I'm trying to find where the source is rather than the exit. So I don't know. I'm thinking it's either time to get, if I can't find it, it's time to get the pond liner out, or to fiberglass it, or petrol bomb it. One of those ones. Oh, we've missed the boat, Sonny, sorry. Glide safe for last. Got it here, don't worry. Once I get through this horrible sumo. Got a funny TikTok link from my nephew posted in the Discord chat. Ooh, should I look at that on stream, or is that too risky?
Here's a fun fact that I want to share with you. Did you know that people who own koi fish ponds, like those little cute little fish, every fourth...
I don't know, can you get copyright claimed for a Discord? For a TikTok meme?
fish is fake. This is to help the fish keep...
What have I done now? Right, can we see this? I'm trying to get it so as it just stays a certain size. Can you hear the desktop if I play the desktop? Let's try again.
Here's a fun fact that I want to share with you. Did you know that people who own koi fish ponds, like those little cute little fish, every fourth fish is fake? This is to help the fish keep safe. So you would have the koi fish that are labeled like A, B, and C. Those are real. And then you would have the D koi. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. I do like that kind of thing, yes. Very good. What other fish channels do people watch? Do you know what? I don't watch all that many fish channels, I've got to be completely honest. As Mickey says, none, shame on you. No, I encourage you to go and watch other fish channels. You might get some useful information. Last few weeks has mostly been about, this beer tastes disgusting, this beer tastes quite nice. Very little fish content on my channel these days. But what fish channels do I watch? So we mentioned Aquadiction. I quite like watching some of their stuff. It's a shame because some of these are really small channels and I only know them because I come across them by accident, rather than them being promoted to me. I think they probably deserve a lot more subscribers than they get. In fact, we could even go and look at my subscriptions and see who I'm following. How can we do that these days? How do we look at... Is there a way you can show my subscriptions? How do we do that? There we go, subscriptions. No, that's all the videos from the people I'm subscribed to. That's not what I wanted. I have a very strange and weird eclectic YouTube taste. So if you can see my subscriptions there on the left hand side, this is what I've been watching mostly this week. Linus Tech Tips. I work in IT. I am a bit of a geek, admittedly. I enjoy watching their stuff, basically. Diary of a CEO. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff. This is the guy from Dragon's Den in the UK. I'm sure that's not how he wants to be known. But I specifically was watching the Gary Neville one. Was very good. I'm not a Man U fan or anything like that, but it was quite good. But he did another one with Lewis Capaldi, which I thought was hilarious. I think Lewis Capaldi is just one of the funniest people in the world. Auto Alex Cars, again, not a fish tank one. MD Fish Tanks, there you go. That's the first fish one that we've come across. I quite like watching MD Fish Tanks videos. I don't watch them religiously, I must admit. I just watch them every now and again. Justin Hawkins rides again. Have you ever heard of The Darkness, the band? I believe in a thing called love. He's actually a very talented musician and theorist, and he does lots of breakdowns about other songs and other genres and how things work, and he's very funny as well. I would recommend watching that if you have that kind of thing. Jay's 2 Cents is another IT type channel. Tom Scott Plus. Tom Scott, you must know who Tom Scott is. This is the channel that he does with other people. Rick Shields Golf, a golfer. I haven't played golf for years, but I still watch that. Casey Neistat. Yeah, Peter Fission Golf. Again, still watch golf content, but I haven't played golf in a long time. Aquarium Co-op. See, so we've had, out of the top, what's that, the top 10, we've got 2, is that even 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, he's not even in the top 10. That in the past week I've watched 2 videos, and the Aquarium Co-op one, I must admit, I only watched a little bit of it, and then walked away and started doing something else and missed it and come back to it, so I didn't even properly watch it. The MD Fish Tanks one, what was it? I was watching something about 1,000 pea puffers in one tank or something like that. I don't mind his stuff. I think I feel their pain in that, knowing that I am an aquatic space channel as well. It's very hard to come up with new and original things. You're always just doing a spin on something or a new theme of something else. But yeah, nothing against them. He makes some nice looking stuff. Channel Super Fun, again, that's an IT one. That's the messing about version of it. Car Throttle, The Dark Den, that's like spiders and reptiles and things like that. Evan Edinger, I have no idea how I got onto that. It's just I go down little rabbit holes every now and again and find these weird. It's not that he's a weird YouTuber. Jimmy Broadbent, Sim Racing, now Actual Racing. Tech Linked, another YouTube, another IT one. Tom Scott, the proper Tom Scott. Dan Furs, Colin Furs. Dan's Fish, there you go, another fishy one. So we've got all the way down here and we've got 3 fishy ones. Mark Rober, Baldwin Brinkop, Robbie Knox, Steenfoot Aquatics, PewDiePie, Simone Geertz, Michael's Fish Room, Cold Water Aquatics, there you go. James the Koi Whisperer, he built a koi pond. I wanted to build a koi pond, so I watched some of his stuff. Good old Sharpies, Fishing Phantoms. Charles Berthoud. Adam Julian, so that's a fishy channel. That's a koi channel. I think he lives around here somewhere. He has a very Rotherham accent, if that makes sense. Pond Guru, there's another fishy one, yeah. But Adam Julian, I quite like his stuff. He seems to really know his stuff. But obviously, only 30,000 subscribers, but he seems to really know his stuff. And when it comes to building ponds, looking after the fish, growing the fish, all that kind of stuff. Bob Steenfort, you heard me say Bob Steenfort. Yes, I watched one of his videos only t'other day. So yeah, Steenfort Aquatics. Mike Boyd, Session Bass. Bass. I like to say bass because it annoyed them. This is actually my brother-in-law. So, you know, he's on 204 subscribers. If you all wouldn't mind going and subscribing to him, say, Graham sent me. No, you don't have to say that. He's a very talented bass player, composer, general musician. So the last few, it was a gig that they did at the I think it was the Barbican or something like that, where it was like a load of covers for lots of famous bands. So that's just him playing the bass to various bits of them. But yeah, he's really good. Go check that out. Mr. Beast, KG Tropicals. I can't remember the last time I watched a KG Tropicals video. I don't know why that's so high up. If I'm nothing against them, just I don't remember watching one recently. Aquatic Morning Show. Some of you here from the Aquatic Morning Show. It clashes with the school run, I've got to say. It usually starts at 3 o'clock UK time, and that's when I have to go and pick up the kids. Aquadiction, there you go. Big Fish Lad, Corvus Oskin. So these are now we're getting into the channels I haven't watched in donkey. Well, why? Maybe this isn't by time, because TM Aquatics, I watched one of his videos the other day. March Shrimp Tanks, I haven't watched one of his videos in years, so I don't know why that's high up. But there you go. That's the channels that I watch. Secret History, I watched one of his videos the other day as well, because I was researching something. So, anyway, it's that time of the show where we have to talk about the show's sponsor. This week, the show is sponsored by me. I'm sponsoring this show. So, go and buy my stuff. If you wouldn't mind, go to aquariumadventures.co.uk, where you can find all your fishy needs catered for, as long as you're only after fish food. We are now fully stocked. I have paid the exorbitant customs and imports fees and extra postage charge, handling fees, and all the good things. So we're now fully stocked with soft Artemia, all the other good foods. Everything's in there. We are ready for... Sorry, I saw another message come up there. We're ready for your orders whenever you want them. So thank you very much to Aquarium Adventures for sponsoring this Friday Night Live. Okay, now back to our regular viewing. Dan's also on a health kit, having some beer tonight as a little break. Yes, I have not consumed carbs for an entire week. So last Friday was the last time I had some carbs. Going carb free for an entire week, and then now I'm blowing it all on a Friday Night Live. Mickey's on a health kick from Monday. Surely you started tonight if you've been off playing golf. Silver Creek Aquatics, hello there. The man with the crispest mic on YouTube. Well, thank you very much. And maybe the Astronautus ocellatus could do the landscaping. Silver Creek, I'm a Linus fan too. Is it bad that MD has bored me this past... I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, that when you make aquarium content, unless you're doing something crazy, weird, wow, I'm doing all this, it's very hard to do new things, isn't it? Which has often been a criticism of the bigger channels like King of DIY and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh my god, he's just doing this for content. Yeah, that's his job. He's got to do these things for content. And I think it's okay to get bored with things. I see people who I speak to, or I see them turn up the comments for like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. They're in there, they're commenting on every video, and then they go away. And I get it. There's only so much of something you can watch before you're like, okay, seen it now. This is the third time he's rescaped this tank. I've kind of seen that now. So I think it's fine to be bored of something. Just go and see what else is around. Check back in every now and again, see if anything else is going on. I get bored. I get bored making the videos. I get bored. Hence why we have Weird Beer Fridays. Because there's only so many times you can answer the same questions on every live stream. So that's why we're doing the quiz. Mix things up a bit. Trying to keep myself interested as much as to keep everyone else interested. So you lot, whether you're here or not, I still have to entertain myself on a Friday night. It's nice that you are here and you can help me out with it, but you know what I mean. It's a difficult thing to do because, alright, I'm in a very different category to MD Fish Tanks, but when I suspect for MD it's almost his main income stream now, as a guess. He's big enough that he'll be getting a not inconsiderable income from YouTube, which comes with its own set of pressures, probably, that you have to keep making content, and I applaud him. I think he's doing great at it. He's really engaging. He's trying new things. He's obviously trying to bring in the Maidenhead Aquatics team, the local MA, because that's another way to open up to lots of new content. Yeah, I've got nothing like it, but it is just like with him, with George Farmer, with that kind of thing. It's another aquascape. It's another aquascape. How many times can we have? It is beautiful, and you can make it cinematic. It's another aquascape. How many times before that gets boring? So I guess I would imagine he'd say, yeah, that's fine. People cycle in and out. Because, like, for instance, if you're getting bored with it, I bet you the next time you come to set up a tank, you might check out some of the big aquascaping channels to see, well, I wonder if any of them have done anything different recently, and you might watch a couple of their videos. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So, there we go. Has anyone seen Goliad Farms? I've seen the various visits people have done to them, but I haven't seen anything recently of it. Of course, Rachel. Haven't seen her for a while. Anyone have any updates? Rachel O'Leary? Would that be? Oh, she seems to be. She posted something 2 weeks ago. Although the last video was 8 months ago. Just doing shorts and things like that, I guess, maybe. Yeah, again, not a channel I really keep up with all that much. Paul McCarthy, how you doing, Paul? So I'm a tech golf tuber. I'm a frustrated non-golfing golfer. I think that's what it is. I used to play golf. I used to be half decent at golf. I live in a house that has essentially golf holes as the garden, and I don't play golf. It takes too long. I haven't got time. Silver Creek's a history disc golf fish tuber. House of Sass loves watching MD skip. Yeah, because it's got something for everyone. Kaylee follows Dark Den too. Yes, I quite like him. I don't know what it is about YouTube, but I get bored watching something, so I'll quite often do the whole scroll, click, and just see what happens. Quite often it's nonsense, but you know what I mean. It's you fall down little rabbit holes. And you don't know where you're going to end up. Sometimes you find gems, sometimes you find nonsense. Bob's Team Fought, yes, I quite like watching Bob. We've had a few back and forths. Oh god, I'm miles away again, aren't I? Sorry, let me catch up. I love the Aquatic Morning Show, shameless plug. When I wear the hoodie I won from Aquaman Adventures, oh come on, at least get the name right. It looks like I have an interesting job. Well, that's fine. Snoochie Booch wanted to stop in and say hello. Hope you're doing well. Can't stay, got to run. Well, thank you for popping by. That's fine. I'm a carb machine. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Carbs are just so bloody delicious. Bread and chips, the two most fantastic foods in the world, and they only get more and more delicious the more and more days pass that you haven't eaten them. Exactly. Man cannot live on bread alone, but I'd give it a damn good try. Let's see what we get up to. Oop. If you're thinking about building a pond on a budget, have a look at Righty. He does some interesting DIY stuff and some honest updates months and years later. I think I follow him. Is he the one from England somewhere? Am I thinking of the same person? Oh no, it's not the one I was thinking of actually. Oh, too loud. Shut up. But I have seen some of his videos. Yes, I shall give him a subscribe because I'm not currently subscribed to him because I do want to do a pond on the budget. Hi Paul. Goliath Farms just posted recently, Charles and Susan are doing well, have been at a few events, and Rachel has had a lot of health stuff and others going on, but posts to IG once in a while. I tried golf, I was not good at it. Golf is very hard, so you have to try it more than once, so you're not going to be good at it on the first go. I don't think anyone's ever been good at it in the first go. Did you all see me just pour that beer down my front? I think that's a sign. I might have had too much. Yeah, golf was one of those games that I know people that have played it for years and never got any better, and I know people that have played it not for years, whatever, a lot shorter time frame, and have got so much better in that time frame. So there definitely is a natural propensity to being good at it, but nobody is good the first time they try it. Played golf last week, must have walked 20 miles zigzagging my way around the course. I need to hit the links again. I've thrown discs for golf for a few years now, but I'm an ex-ball golfer. I'm out of practice nowadays. Still have the clubs though. Yep, I've still got the clubs. I've still got the interest. I punish myself by watching all the golfing videos. I'm from a big golfing family. My dad's a big golfer. My uncle's a big golfer. I grew up playing golf. I was the captain of my golf club as a junior. I played in the golf team. I played in all the competition. Oh yeah, that was golf. I basically didn't go to school for a year because I just went to the golf course instead and played golf. So I was never brilliant though. I was never one of these natural ability type people. I had to work at it. I had to practice to get good. Nothing more annoying than getting food and drink in your beard. Yeah, but you can wring it out later. That's what we came for, beer down the mouth hole. Right, we're on to the last one. Love a bit of golf. Not great, but I can hold more. Yeah, and I think it's a great game because you spend its qualities and its drawbacks are the same thing. I think you get to spend a few hours out with your mates, chatting about whatever's going on in the world. You get a bit of exercise. You have to walk around, unless you get a buggy, I suppose. But it takes 5 hours. So when I had a young family, I was just like, no, there's no way I could. Right, dear, the 3 kids. I'm just off now to play golf all day. I'll be back in about 8 hours. That was never going to fly, and I wouldn't want it to fly either. It's very unfair. We're trying the glide now, by the way. Again, quite cloudy and in need of a flake. That might just be my technique. I love that you're calling it ball golf. Silver Creek Aquatics. My grandfather taught me ball golf. Is that instead of disc golf? Yeah, okay. I've always fancied that. I don't know if it has or not, but I don't think it's taken over. It's not caught on over here quite as much. Again, this is another of the little rabbit holes I tend to go down, is watching people playing frisbee golf. But I always watch and think, yeah, I'd be good at that. With no experience or ever having tried it once. Can't even remember the last time I threw a frisbee. But I do like referring to golf as ball golf. Anyway, he was a local pro that lived on an amazing course, Sugar Tree Golf Course, out in the mighty Brazos River. His house was to the right of the hole number 1's green. That'd be pretty cool. A beautiful pond between his yard and the green. Stunning place if you ever wanted to try golf in Texas. I'd love to go to Texas. Just to see Texas. What is it they say? Everything's bigger in Texas. It's the 19th that I like. Well, the 19th is always good. But it's a curse as well. Because I remember being good at golf. But, like I was saying earlier, I was never a natural at golf. I had to practice. And then having not practiced ever, a few years back we went on a Jolly Boys holiday, a golfing holiday. So we went away for a weekend. One of my friends, I think it was like his work, had arranged a golf weekend and they had a free spot. And he was like, oh, you used to play golf, why don't you come? And it's fine, and it was just an excuse for a piss up, basically. So yeah, we played golf every day, but then we drank all night long as well. But there's nothing more infuriating than remembering that you used to be good and being incapable of reproducing that level of skill. Like standing over a shot going, well, it's like 180 into the wind, I just need to fade it around a little bit, and if I hit it off that bank and then check it back, it'll stop up and roll up nice to the hole. So having all the shots in your bag, or thinking you have all the shots in the bag and no means to execute any of them, is I challenge anyone to think of anything more frustrating. Apparently I was like a nightmare to be with, because the whole time I was like, that's it, never played again, this is the worst thing in the world, I can't believe you made me come to this, oh, I hate this. All because I knew I could be good at this and wasn't. A hybrid golfer, that's the way I like to differentiate the two. Apparently golf was invented in Scotland. Yes, golf is very much a Scottish game. St Andrews being the home of golf. A foot golf, oh, that's another one. Yeah, the local driving range round here has a foot golf course. Now there's a question. I wonder, do people who call ping pong table tennis call regular tennis court tennis? So we have another one. If you're very posh over here, you call it whiff waff. So ping pong, table tennis, or whiff waff, depending on your social structure. Golf's a fantastic sport. It's not many sports where a 10-year-old, a 40-year-old, and a 70-year-old can play. Do you know what? That's very true. I remember many times it would be me, my dad, and my granddad all playing together. You can't... What, snooker? That might be the only other one I can think of. Darts? Nah, now I'm going to think of loads of them. Anything that's not physically exertion. But, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I've never played foot golf. Foot pool, that's another one. I think we did that in a works do once. We went to one of these corporate things and they had foot pool, and it was like a pool table, and you kick the balls. Yeah. It's like, can you not think of anything else? You have to just a foot version of it. Disc golf is good. It's hard, if not harder than ball golf. Right, we're going to have to stop calling it ball golf. That's just too funny. Real golf, surely. Being good at disc golf takes just as many years of dedication to get there. It's the difference between throwing 100 metres and 400. Well, that's quite a big difference, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, when I watch these videos and think, oh yeah, I'd be good at that, I know I'm completely fooling myself and I would not be good at that. Having said that, I haven't thrown a frisbee in years. The last time I did throw one, it didn't go well. I'm pretty sure we lost the frisbee. Tyrus Barkley, hiya mate, hello yourself. I should now call it whiff waff from this point on. Only if you want to be like an upper class British snob. Snooker after a few. Well, snooker used to be that was my second sport almost. Again, another excuse for a piss up. We go out on a Friday night. Shall we go to the snooker club? Oh, yeah, let's go and play snooker. Drink copious amounts of cheap beer. Dan with an actual fish question. By all means, ask fish questions, people. Are you still using Biohome on all or any aquariums, and is it still performing? I am still using Biohome in any aquarium that has the ability to use Biohome on it. I am using Biohome on it. So, for instance, this aquarium, it's very out of focus, so you can't see it. Pardon me, but it has a hang-on back filter filled with Biohome. The tidal filter that I was talking about earlier, filled with Biohome. Pardon me, my sump, when I get my big tank ramen, will be filled with Biohome. I'm not like a massive fanboy or anything, but it is a very good media. It's very expensive as well. Traditional golf, there you go, a bit better than ball golf. waff and snooker. Is anyone else from the States? Do you not have snooker in America? Surely. I suppose I've not seen any Americans playing snooker. It's like pool, but more complicated. Darts? Do you have darts in America? I'm now just thinking of all the things that Americans may or may not do. We're going to end up descending into one of those conversations about you having a World Series of baseball with only teams from America in it. I heard an interesting stat the other day. I have no idea if it's true. Is darts popular in America? There are no Americans currently among the top 183 players in the world rankings. Does that mean someone's at 184? Why would they use that number? Anyway, the Super Bowl, which is meant to be like the world's greatest sporting event. I don't mean to offend any of my Texan friends here or American friends. The Super Bowl is meant to be the world's greatest sporting event, I think. And it was like Queen's Park Rangers versus Doncaster Rovers had a bigger attendance. I don't know if it's true, but it's one of those stats where you have to think, wow, is that true? In fact, I'm going to Google it now. God, it is true. Super Bowl attendance was 24,835. That's like a mid-tier championship football ground, isn't it? I had no idea. Silver. We could just, hear me out, just call it golf. Yeah, golf and frisbee golf. I've heard of snooker and I'm from Texas, but I will now be calling it whiff-waff to confuse my friends. Don't call snooker whiff-waff. No, we've got the wrong end of the stick there. Table tennis, whiff-waff. Snooker. Ever tried Purigen? I've used it in one tank and not in an identical tank. See zero difference. I have tried Purigen. I get where you come from. I've tried it. I quite liked it, if I'm completely honest. I found it only made a difference if you used it in a very well-maintained tank anyway. So it was... Purigen was the difference of going from a clear water tank to a, it looks like the fish is floating in air tank. So if your tank is a bit cloudy or a bit dark or a bit substratey or all those things, if it's a bit like that anyway, Purigen's not going to make a bloody bit of difference. But if it's almost perfect, it's the thing that gets you to perfect. But I know exactly what you mean, because I tried it in lots of different tanks, and then obviously they weren't as good as the one I was trying to keep clean and didn't do anything. So yeah, I don't think I currently have any Purigen. Billiards is more popular. There you go. I've got Biohome Media in most of my filters, but it is expensive. There's no getting away from it. I mean, it's good, but it is also expensive. It's one of those things that I often say if you're limited in space, Biohome's a really good choice because you get the same efficiency. The efficiency benefit of using Biohome in a small filter, like a hang-on back filter or something like that, I think it's perfect because you get loads of surface. There are other ones that make claims of surface area and stuff like that, but you get loads of surface area. It works really well. I'm happy with it. If you've got a massive sump, you may as well just get Alpha Grog or something like that. I was in a darts league, actually a popular sport here, but a bar sport with drink. It's a bar sport here too, with drinking involvement. Yeah, drinking's mainly involved here, and we don't use steel tips to avoid injury. Really? It's not frisbee golf. Sorry. Is that like really offensive? Disc golf. disc golf. Is that right? Yeah. Do you know what? I've watched loads of it, and I still don't really understand what's going on. You have different discs for different things. Yeah, that's what the whole Super Bowl thing. It's wow. It's like I had no idea. I thought it was like 200,000, something like that. You see it on TV. I always stay up to watch the Super Bowl. You see it on TV, and it looks like it's like this massive thing, but that is like it's not a Sunday League attendance, but it's like a championship or a League One. Golf discus, or however they say in Sweden. Disc golf. Okay, I get you. You were just clarifying you had heard of snooker, but calling ping pong whiff bath from now on. Got it. Remember crossing the border from the far superior Lancashire and playing in a Yorkshire dartboard? Well, as a White Rose person now, clearly living in Sheffield, I have no idea what you're on about, Andy. Buy a home has one big drawback that you have to choose if you want to buy a home or buy a home. No argument from here. I mean, whether it's worth it or not is entirely down to your situation and you as well. I'm not going to lie. I got a lot of it at a very good price because I sold it for a while. So I've kept a lot of it. I've stopped selling it because, well, the demand went down and it was very expensive to ship because it's so heavy. That was my main problems. If people wanted to buy it again, I've still got my contacts. I can still get it in at wholesale prices and sell it on. But I think it used to come in. I used to buy like wholesale bags of 20 kilos at a time. I think the last 20 kilos I didn't sell, and I just ended up using it in all my tanks. But you know, if you want some, I can get you some. It doesn't bother me. I've seen a lot of guys pin out of shape. There are putters, approach disc, mid-race disc, drivers, and distance drivers. See, yeah, that's where me calling it frisbee golf is probably going to upset some people, because I bet you all those discs are like manufactured to high levels of specific tolerances, and they probably cost a fortune. Now I'm there with my plastic thing I got for $2.99. Worth every penny. Terrific media. Yeah, it's subjective. It's whether you like it or not. This one, less of a nose, less of a smell. So this is the Sumo. No, it's not. This is the Glide. Not. It did say something about tropical sweetness on the nose. I'm assuming that means it smells sweet. Well, I'll tell you this for nothing, Glide. You ain't got nothing on Aunt Bessie's Jam Roly Poly. The combination of Mosaic, Simcoe, and Strata hops pair dank resin with beautifully exotic passion fruit and strawberry tones. I'm not even sure I know what passion fruit tastes like. I'm pretty sure it's not that though. There's no strawberry in there. Silky smooth mouthfeel helps with drinkability. Let's make it taste nice. That'll help with drinkability. It's not terrible. The manufacturing method can change the flight of a disc. The top of the stack doesn't bend, whereas the bottom of the stack will, and it'll fly different. But yes, within 1/10 of a millimetre. My God. I really want to try frisbee golf now. Disc golf now. Like proper disc golf. I think that'd be good at it. I do. I think I'd be good at it, sorry. Mosaics are my go-to hops. I don't know. I think they might be the ones I don't like. %7 as well. God, this is going to finish me off. Passion fruit is slightly tart. It's slightly tart, yes. I heard it. Sorry. No, I mean, I'm new to this. It's going to take me a while to get the lingo down. Okay, is anyone in Sheffield or Yorkshire or the surrounding areas fancy a game of disc golf? Let me know. Hit up the Discord server. Flashing away up there. I've upset Barry. This is totally un-Australian. Make a choice, I reckon. Soft drinks or beer. Beer isn't supposed to take like capes. Barry, this is exactly why I started this. Too many times I was getting beers thrust upon me that claimed to be an infusion of guava juice and pineapple. I'm like, neither of those things sound nice. Why would you add beer into the mix? That's not a thing that you would go with. And I proved myself right. They were not a good mix. There was one particularly egregious one, which was... Oh, no. Now I've started the 7% one. I can't remember the name of it. Grapefruit. Why would you put grapefruit in a beer? What is wrong with you people? It's not even nice as a fruit. People who like fruit don't like grapefruit. No one likes grapefruit. The only people who like grapefruit are people who put 10 tons of sugar on the grapefruit to squash the flavour of the grapefruit they're about to eat. And then they put it in a beer and go, oh no, it's cool, yeah, oh yeah, you'll love this. No one will love this. But I've got to say, jam roly-poly and beer. Sometimes you fancy a beer and a cocktail. There's your answer. But I can know where you're coming from, because that's where I came from, and that's why I'm trying this series, to try all these fancy Dan beers and see if any of them have any merit. Now, roly-poly beer, that is a bit of a gimmick. It's a meme beer. It's just too weird. But Juice Forsyth, that's lovely. Getting this again. It's not terrible would be a good name for these hipster beers. I had to say, like, kind of around week 3 or week 4 of doing this, I'm going to have to stop, because none of them are good. They're just tolerable. So, the week where I stumbled upon the Weiss beers, the German Weiss beers, that's what saved this whole experiment, because they were quite nice. This is a combo. This works for me. I started off with the Jam Roly-Poly, went on to the Bruce Forsyth. If I'd got a couple more of them extra, I'd have been happy as Larry, and yeah, that's fine. But also, it's enabled me to go onto the slightly more minging end of the scale and quite enjoy them. This is fine now. After trying those ones, this is fine. We have a 9.5% here that tastes like beer and orange juice mixed. And no, it's not well. Yeah. My aim is poor, says Hans. You tried it once. Any tips on getting blackbeard algae? Every time I add plants to my 250 litre, it grows all over the leaves and kills the plants. my only tips are catch it early is the best tip. So if you see it starting to appear on anything, then you can get in with some of the more milder treatments, like using spot dosing hydrogen peroxide and CChem Excel and things like that. That's a really good thing. But if you see it turning up at all, just start water change. Get fresh water in there. It's a nutrient imbalance, so just getting any excess nutrients out of there will stop it before it gets bad. If it gets really bad, no. I've been there. I've let it get really bad. I've tried all the treatments. You can take plants out. You can spray them with hydrogen peroxide, leave them out of the water for a while, spray them, put them back in. It'll slowly die off. You'll spend weeks doing that to get around a whole tank's worth of blackbeard algae, and by the time you get back to the start again, it started again. The only thing that worked for me once I got to that point was silver flying foxes, the fish. And I hate to recommend buying a fish to do a job like that, but that was the only thing that I got to work. But if you see it early enough, hydrogen peroxide, CChem Excel, just Google those things as BBA treatments. Tell you how to do it. But if you even before that, just massive water changes, lots and lots of water changes, and get all the nutrients out. And I say that assuming your water changes are going to. Sometimes people's water have high nitrates in them, so water changes doesn't help. So I'm saying that assuming that you will be lowering the nitrate levels and phosphates. Phosphates is another big one for that. But yeah, that might work. My first 6 months I couldn't throw further than 70 metres. That seems like quite a long way. How far can you throw now? Weekly water changes, some floating extra plants. Good idea. If you can put in more plant mass, that will suck out some of those excess nutrients. And Algexit if all that failed. Yeah, there are some treatments. I haven't tried them, to be honest. I must be completely honest. I've not tried any of the BBA treatments, so I don't know if that works. Sprayed them, but it kills the plants after a week. Well, it shouldn't kill the plants. Oh, we've had a new subscriber. Shallow Weir Liz. Thank you. This might be a good segue into... I'm trying to get more subscribers. I've set myself a little goal of getting to 15,000 subscribers this year. And I was bang on track to make it look like I was going to get there, but loads of time to spare. Because for the last 6 months, I've been getting kind of 200-300 subscribers a month, and it's all been fine. Last month I got 100. So I don't know if I'll just upset someone, or if the Weird Beer series is putting people off. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's all going downhill. So if you are watching this and you see this and you're not subscribed, consider clicking that subscribe button. Sometimes my videos are actually about fish rather than beer. Bought some Algexit. Well, good luck to you. It's getting nicer as it goes down. Right, last 10-15 minutes. Do you want to try one of these? Should we try one of these quizzes? How many people have we got left? Am I talking to myself? 39 concurrent viewers and 38 likes. 38 concurrent viewers and 38 likes. Okay. Weird beers are not doing well. We used to get 80. Oh well. Right, what do you think? The fish keeping quiz? Or should we do one of the Freshwater, one of the more popular ones. Fish of Africa, South America, Europe, Oceania, Asia. ID aquatic vegetation, alligator or crocodile. Let's get quizzical. Tropical fish minefield, that sounds interesting. Well, I don't know what to do. What's happening? Guesses remaining, 16. Oh, I'm on a timer. What have I to do? Can you pick the real tropical fish without picking any decoy? Right, real tropical fish. Angelfish, yep. Bala shark, yep. Blind finner, no. Discus, neon, wally, coolie, kissing grammy, guppy, ghost knife fish, Oscar George, panda cory, pleco, rainbow shark, robbing, zebra danio, tiger. Oh, that was just too easy. Gotta try something a bit harder than that, surely. Vowelless freshwater fish. That sounds interesting. Can you name the vowelless freshwater fish that can be found within the UK? What? I don't know that I can. Right, so this is some... right. Bream. Perch. RFF. RFF? Don't know what that is. Three? Spined, S-P-I-N-E-D. Stickleback, S-T-I-C-K-L-E-B-A-C-K. Minnow. Dace. Chub. Bullhead. Bullhead. Orf. Oh, we'll come back to this one. Didn't like that. O-R-F. Orf. Bullhead. Bullhead? Bellhead. Bullhead? B-U-L-L-H-E-A-D. Bullhead. Rainbow trout. R-A-I-N-B-O-W-T-R-O-U-T. Tench. Tench. RCH. RCH. Roach. Grass carp. Rudd. Common carp. Atlantic salmon. A-T-L-A-N-T-I-C-S-A-L-M-O-N. L. Orf is spelt with one F, so it's not Orf. Okay. What could L? Leo. Ole. Ale. Gudgeon. G-U-D-G-A-N. O-N. O-E-N. Time. Oh, it was a timer. Rough. Apparently it was. Eel. It was gudgeon. I just couldn't spell gudgeon. Oh, I knew loads of them. barbel, zander, grayling, catfish. That's a bit of a piss take, surely. Stone loach, pike, brown trout, common carp. I'd have got crucian carp. I'd got most of them. I didn't realise there was a timer. That's where I went wrong. And you couldn't see most of it because my screen. I do apologise. Right, last one. Do one more, and then any more questions that you think of. Should we just do the fish keeping quiz? See what comes up with that. Let me just move my coupon out the way. No. I'll put me up here. Would you be a good fish keeper? 44 questions, 10 minutes. Right, play. Oh no, it's one of these ones. How soon can you add fish to your new tank? It's going to be once you have cycled it. But that's not true. You could have... what happens during the cycling process? Nitrogen is absorbed into water and releases ammonia turns into carbon. No, ammonia is broken down into nitrates. And then, yep, that one. Can you speed up a cycle by adding extra exit? Nope. Carbon? Nope. Water from another tank? Nope. Mature cycle media from another tank. Before adding new tap water, you should add the chlorinating solution, add plant fertilizer, mix a weak solution of bleach, boil it. Well, if the internet's anything to go by, it's always boil it. But I guess they're going for this. You don't need to add the chlorinating solution, but you could run an HMA, but that's what they want. Regular water changes are needed in order to remove nitrates and fish hormones, add nitrates, keep the aquarium getting hot, add beneficial bacteria to the tank. No, remove nitrates and fish hormones. Where would you find most of the beneficial bacteria? In the water, on the leaves, in the filter, in the sand? So I'm going to go with filter, but if you had a lot of sand, you'd probably find quite a lot in there. Which of these statements is true? Filters should be turned off at night. Nope. External filters are more powerful than internal filters and have more room for biomedia. Typically that is true. External filters require more frequent cleaning. Nope. External filters are only for ponds. Nope. External filters are more powerful than internal. I'm going to go with that. It's not necessarily true, but there you go. How often should you clean a filter? Never. When flow drops, when you do a water change every 6 months. I'm going to go when the flow drops. How should you clean your filter sponges? Oh god, there's so many questions. Right, I'm going to do a speed run. How should you clean your filter sponges? Tank water. Yep. How would you ensure enough surface agitation? Break surface. Average recommended tropical community. That one. Algae is caused by that one. RO stands for reverse osmosis, which is not a thing. Adding RO can help to soften your water. How much primed chlorinator per 10 litres of water? I don't know, that one. Live plants can be beneficial because they absorb oxygen, they absorb carbon monoxide, they absorb carbon ammonia. That one. Anubias and Java firm are better off tied with the rocks. Avoid aggression. Mbuna need hiding places. Water clown loaches and complex known for get big. Cardinals, black neon, X-ray, tetras. Which of these fish has the labyrinth agrami? Diatoms, bluebeard, and green algae. What is the purpose of UV sterilizer? Reduce algae. God. Going away for 5 days, what should you do? Nothing. Nothing? Nothing. That one. If you need to treat your tank with medication, what should you do first? Remove carbon. What can you use to treat ick, velvet, and other spots? So it's one of these two. I'm going to go that one. Can you find vegetables? Can you feed vegetables to tropical fish? Yeah. Do you need to have a light in your tank? If you want. Guppies, mollies, platies have what in common? Live bearers. Yellow lab peacock are all types of chichlid. Where do in Buddha chichlids originate from? Malawi. Vein rot, ulcers, bacteria, fungal infection, 2000. Giant flora, albino platinum, checkerboard, pearl pigeon are all discus. Red cherry, amano, shrimp. How should you keep a betta fish? On their own. How many pufferfish? Well, if it's Mabu puffers. How many pufferfish can I keep in my community tank? I don't know. What kind of pufferfish? You want none? I don't know. What can help to remove pest snails? Assassin snail. When the weather gets warm, what should you do? Strip off. Keep your heater on. It has a built-in thermostat. I could have wrote that question. A water hardness of 17 GDH would be classed as hard water. Hard water. Neutral pH 7. What happens if you increase your carbonate hardness? pH will go up. Discus come from Amazon Basin. Blue tang, butterfly fish are salt waters. Not suitable for a 120 litre tank. Clown loach. Oh. Really? Got that one wrong. I got 98%. That was the only one I got wrong. Black neon tetras are not suitable for 120. What? Clown loach. Clown loach, same clown loach that get to like 2 feet long. It's not fair. That's a bit unfair, I think. I think I should have got 100% and speedrunning it as well. Did I have time left? How much time did I have left? I still had 4.5 minutes left. Right. Is anyone still here? I realise that's probably the most boring thing I've ever done on stream. Oh no, still 30 odd people here. Wow. So, just time for... what am I trying to do? Just time for me to say, as always, if you're here for the first time, I'd love it if you clicked that subscribe button. I'd love it if you told some other people to come and watch this channel. Join us on Friday night. We can hang out. We can have a laugh. We can do more competitions and that kind of thing. If you are called Hans and live in Sweden and won the prize tonight, let me know what your address is and I'll send you some stuff. If you want to carry on with this kind of stuff, bing, Discord. If you don't want to, subscribe anyway. It's always nice to see you. If you want to carry on with your fishy journey tonight, it might just be lunchtime for you, who knows. Go and check out Cold Water Aquatic. They'll be streaming directly after this, as I'm sure someone is putting in the chat any second now. There you go, Scott has just put in the chat. Go and check out their stream, say Graham sent you, and check out the smuggest man on YouTube with his cold water fish room. It's always good. But thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. We do this every Friday. It's fun. It's a bit of a laugh. I enjoy hanging out with you lot. I hope it's not too annoying listening to me prattle on about nonsense and drinking some strange beers. If there's nothing else, I'll thank you very much and I'll see you next week. Bye.